All right, what up, y'all? I am your host, Young Smooth, and once again, I am back with another of my actions because it's Friday. I told y'all. I already told y'all I was going to do it. You know what I'm saying to you, and when I say I'm going to do it, I do it because I get it done. That's what the kid do. You already know that. So, let's. Oh, it is this side this time. Okay, so this side is my boy Neza is in the building. Say what's up to the people.
What the fuck is up, people? It's your boy Neza.
That's my guy. That's my new guy right there. Like me and me and this guy right here have already submitted a friendship unbeknownst to each other, and we gonna get into that today. But I have to ask you, like I ask all the time, how are you doing? How has the pandemic been treating you, and what have you learned in the pandemic?
Well, I'm terrific. For one, I'm terrific. The pandemic, of course, as we all know, it was super challenging. But to circle it to the final question, I think what I was able to take away from it was to keep going, because this was we've seen a lot of people cave under many circumstances because of the pandemic. So in terms of artistry and entertainment or whatever the case is, that was probably the most effective time for an artist if you were going to be an artist. You know what I mean? Like I said, that the pandemic in itself, and we all can get into how it started and how it could have been, but no, we're here. So
Right.
to circle to the artistry, man, it was just important to keep going going at a time where it was real easy to give up.
And I think for a lot of people, it didn't. It either affected your creativity or it pushed you to brand new levels that you didn't even think that you had. So
yeah, I mean, realistically, force niggas to keep it pushing. Think about it. If you're the type of person who is working a job, whatever the case is, but you're working that money up to go to a studio, commercial studio, what are you going to do when everything was shut down? You're forced to do it yourself.
Exactly.
Or get amongst people, whereas you can have more, but it turns to one of those situations like, how much do you really want it?
For sure. For sure. So when did you realize that you had a gift to be a phenomenal MC at this point?
Man, I would say, because the thing is, the music is deeply embedded in my family. So, I wanted to rap for a very long time. I'm talking 8 years old. And even surprisingly, that started as Christian rap, because that's all I was really listening to. And, MC Hammer kind of really influenced me to, be that nigga. But, fast forward, like now, like even now, I don't see it as much of a gift. I see it as it's just something I love to do. And as long as I love to do it, I might get a little better at it each time.
And you know what? People sleep on Hammer. Like, people fail to realize this man was the original Tyler Perry. This man took everybody with him from his neighborhood.
Yeah.
And I literally still remember the one time that we recorded MC Hammer's performance on Oprah Winfrey. And it was so crazy that his performance took a chunk of the ceiling off of the ceiling because that's how live his performance was. Yeah. So I get you. I could understand how
it was the energy. It was the energy. You know what I mean? And then like later in life, of course, I found out that he was, straight up, a real motherfucker from Oakland. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, it's just like you got it fucked up with the whole dancing and everything. Like, no, he's a real one from Oakland. But I just respect the energy and just how he stood out in the time where as though everybody was on some. Even then you could say typical rap stuff. Like you sound like LL and Rakim. The obvious influences, and no shade to them, but at some point wasn't nobody dancing and rapping like Hammer at that time.
Right.
At all. They tried it with the white boy. What did it? Vanilla Ice. Stop.
Oh,
but even if not even knocking him, but even if so, he had his. Come on, man. Everybody was trying to be like Hammer. The parachute pants, the hair, and I'm saying, come on, buddy. Everybody.
You know what the funny thing is? It's funny that you bring that up. I was just watching a review because this show, shout out to Double Toasted on YouTube, that I watch, and they actually just did Cold as Ice, and it's bad. It's still bad. It's still bad to this day.
Some things just need to be left alone.
And Cold as
That's
Ice is one of them. Cold,
yeah,
that was
yeah,
definitely one of them.
yeah.
So you have a new project out, of course, which is called My Imaginary Reality. What do you want people to get from this particular album?
Well, actually, one of the few things I want people to get from it is that's me. That's in a way that's my debut album, even though I, dropped projects before that were on streaming platforms and things like that. But as far as like really projecting myself to the world, as a person I am now, I've been within the last few years as a father and, this, that, and the third. This is me. That's the one thing I want people to take away from it. Secondly, it's
Right.
I'm dope as shit and I hang around dope people.
You really
You see
do.
what I mean? Without being
Yeah.
and that's the humblest it can possibly get. You know what I mean?
Right.
Really, because at some point I amaze myself, yo. But at some point,
Mhm.
when you put yourself around greatness, you can't be surprised no more.
Right. Because you just recently, didn't you also have someone very famous give you a drop recently that was on Instagram?
Yeah, Red Man. Shout out to my boy Reggie.
Reggie Nobles.
Reggie.
Hey, let me tell you
Yeah.
something. Reggie is always going to be one of the greats. I absolutely loved his run with Meth, but I saw him on Drink Champs recently. And just to remember that his MTV Cribs was really like that, and he did that shit, I was like,
Bro,
yo,
the,
that shit was so great.
that was very authentic of him to this day.
Mhm.
Like and then even outside of that, like that's very memorable. But outside of that, I think when I think of Redman, I think of like a very, just like Hammer, very energetic, loud, real bars. But at some point, people are so thrown off by, I guess, the presence that they overlook that, because, and then you put someone like, Method Man, who has the woo and everything that precedes him. So I mean, yo, he's definitely underrated, but he is definitely GOAT.
You know what? We like we talked off camera. And we were talking about influences and stuff like that. Well, one of the things that I will say that I remember learning, and I think I may have even gotten this from backstage, when Buster was like, yo, you play to the motherfucking crowd. You play all the way to the niggas in the fucking cheap seats. Like, I remember being in theater arts, judge me not. I remember being in theater arts.
That's real.
And I literally thought about that all the time. Yo, play to the niggas in the back seats because they are here to see you too. And Busted to this day, Extinction Level Event 2 is still shitting on them. It's still shitting on them.
Yeah.
Like, I love it.
That's one thing. Now that you mentioned Brother Buster, yo, it was really good to see brothers, from the era that, got me sparked and inspired, really still doing it. Now, I'll be honest, it's kind of, and then we're considering, the notoriety and the years plus that they have in the game, that experience and the lyrical ability. But in comparison to what's popular today and what's considered music, and then again, this is just me humbly saying unbiased. This is not Neza you're interviewing. This is Chris right here. It's really a landslide, bro. Like, it's really, nothing too impressive. That is like, I can't see too many of these people being, and I'm not saying, of course, alive, but I'm talking as far as longevity as an artist. I don't see no more than 1 or 2 years with these niggas.
Let's be clear about the summer of 2020. Let's go into it. Okay. If you want to be deep about it, let's go in. Let's get there.
Let's do it.
In the summer of 2020, you received Living Off Experience by The Lox that I can now listen to from beginning to end. You received Nas's King's Disease, which I can listen to from beginning to end. And I dissed the shit out of Nasir. Let me be honest with you. I did. I had to. That shit was trash. This is fucking
brother.
gold mine at this point. And then you also end off with the summer towards going into the fall with Extinction Level Event 2. And now we have talks that we are getting a DMX album with fucking Pop Smoke. Your favorite MC could fucking never.
Yeah.
Never.
Yeah.
DMX still look like somebody grandfather. I love the shit out of Earl, but let's be clear.
Yeah.
That nigga look like somebody grandfather now.
Yeah.
But he still got it. He was on that Lox album, and I was like, nigga, is it dark and hell is hot again? Because this is what I feel.
Yeah. I mean, the thing of it, like I said, is just a beautiful time, and it's kind of open season because
Yeah.
No, the current climate, nothing is really impressive. There's a few. I don't want to sit here and say there's no, like, no, trust me, there's plenty of talented individuals, but they're being overlooked because of the bullshit.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Speaking of which, speaking of the fact that we just hit on those particular ones, Nas, what are your feelings on the fact that this is his first Grammy?
Just like many, it's kind of bittersweet. But then again, I want to, I want to know, like, the what are we, the black people, what do we feel about the Grammys? At first, I thought it was fuck the Grammys. You see what I'm saying?
I did until I saw Jay-Z right there. I was like, well, is it not anymore?
Right. No, but the thing is, like,
are we not doing this?
As him being a brother and then someone who I've, been, watched and studied and, admired for years, good. Right. It's good to see, and even if it was another nomination, that's good. That's more than what a lot of people are getting, you know what I mean? Yeah. But still, you finally got it. If he salutes it, if he celebrates it, then I will too. But at some point, it's still fuck the Grammys, because at some point we know there were plenty other people who really should have got it, you know what I mean? But
and not to mention the fact, I talked about this on the podcast this week. I just thought about it, like, yo, up on this wall, one of these, there are at least the first 4 major albums. Illmatic, Stillmatic. It was written, Illmatic. It was written, I Am, and Nostradamus. Right. Which are some of my favorite albums.
So wait, hold on a second. You don't so where do you place Ye? I mean, not Ye, the one that was produced by Ye, the Nasir Jones.
We don't speak about that. We don't talk about that.
Are you serious?
Yes. Okay. So here's the thing. Okay. It is good for the moment. It is good for the culture. But the Nasir album is one of those things. It's almost like Street Disciples. It's one of those things where you feel as though Nas just doesn't pick those beats because you want some of those things from Nas. I think we like the manifesto of Nas Escobar. I think we love those things, and I think we missed that. And Nasir just didn't give me that.
So you chalk it up because of the production, right? The beat selection, his beat selection.
Here are my 2 reasons. There are 2 reasons. One, the beat selection has always been really bad for Nas if it doesn't come via the way of like a major producer that's really, really honing into it. 2, right. At this particular point, Kanye has been in the sunken place. I think he tried to dig himself out, but he's been in the sunken place for quite a while. And so therefore his artistic endeavor around that time was not great. It just was like, what the fuck? Because please, nobody bought the Jesus. I know who bought the Jesus album. Who bought the Jesus album? Exactly. Exactly.
Yo, no, but the thing is, I can fully accept, you know what I mean, like your reasoning, because any other time, and like Nas comes up, because I'm not saying I'm I can quote all the Nas, like, no, it ain't even like that. Somebody I admired, he's just someone who would be obviously on my and many other people's hip hop Mount Rushmores, right? But
of course,
anytime Nasir the album comes up, niggas immediately without reason shit on that joint. And again, like you try to act as though that motherfucker never happened. Like Thanos just snapped that bitch out of existence. Like
it did. It's gone. It's gone.
But actually, I can accept why you say that though, because another frequent thing I heard about Nas was, the attitude, I guess, the taste for his projects will be because of his beat selection. You see what I mean?
Actually, Jay-Z was the Thanos that year. Because here's why.
Listen, no, J Hove is the Thanos every time Nas want to drop something.
Oh no, but this time he was the Thanos for it was blatant, because that night I was literally sitting here with my old co-host, and we were going to listen to it, and we listened to it, and we were like, okay, I'm ready to like drill a hole in my head. This shit is crazy. So then we only listened to it because we had forgot about it, because we were rocking the Carter album the whole time. And that album came out that day, and it was simultaneously right then and there. And I was like, oh, he Thanos snapped the shit out of Nas at this point.
No, so dude, I have not heard it. I'll be honest. I'm not gonna sit here and cap with you. I've not heard King's Disease. I've heard everything about it. Right. Yeah. But would you say that kind of, because I kind of have a story that like regarding the album, My Imaginary Reality, that kind of proves like maybe it is the chemistry with the producer. You know what I mean?
It really can be. It really can be.
Because the way niggas are talking about King's Disease, they saying like, again, like the Nasir never happened. Is that redeemable of a
It
project?
it
You see what I'm
it it,
saying?
it so is. When I tell you, okay, first of all, King's Disease is such a redeemable situation and such a redeemable album because of the fact that Hit Boy killed it on all cylinders. It made you feel nostalgic, classic Nas. Then on top of that, little known fact about me,
Mm-hmm.
my very first album that I was able to purchase when I was 17 years old was The Firm. So to see all of The Firm back in action on the Full Circle
Mm-hmm.
situation, I was like, yo, you hit my nostalgia so
Yeah.
well at this point.
Yeah.
There's nothing else that I can do or say about this project. Like this, yeah, it's killing it. And
That's tough.
Nazir, who? Like, what the fuck?
No,
Like,
real talk, bro. I'm taking your word for it, because like the thing is, like with me, like being an artist myself and like doing it, at this magnitude, I have my favorite artists that I want to listen to, like either I'm going to the gym or wake up or whatever the case. But even that's old music, like Earth, Wind and Fire and shit,
mhm.
George Clinton and all that shit. Yeah, I don't listen to actual rap artists because
Yeah.
I don't want to get wrapped in. Like, say, matter of fact, around the time I was working on that album, My
Mhm.
Imaginary Reality, Eminem just dropped Music to Be Murdered By. Lil Wayne just dropped The Funeral, but I
Mhm.
couldn't listen to that shit, bro, and it was hurting my soul. You
Yeah.
see what I'm saying? Because it's
Right.
like I ain't want to be influenced in no way. I want to project my story, what I'm
Right.
feeling, how I am. You see what I mean? But I'm
Right.
gonna take your recommendation, bro. I'm gonna listen to
Yeah.
that Nas. And like,
Mhm.
look, it even went as far as I unsubscribed to the Apple Music, bro. I was in tune to everything that was hot coming out, but it was like when it's in work mode, I ain't trying to hear nothing, bro. It's like, you know how Lil Wayne be
No.
like, I don't know who none of these niggas is, man. Like, I just be under my rock. That's
Right.
how it is. That's the real thing.
And not to mention the fact Nas just recently said he was like, look, I'm actually massively comfortable with where I am because I don't see none of these new niggas. Like, he really already was like, he don't see none of these new niggas. I
Yeah.
don't see it for, yo, the only new person that I saw it for is dead. And that was Pop Smoke.
Yeah.
And the only reason, okay, everybody who know me understands this, and if you ever listen to the podcast, you know I might as well be a barb. Don't judge my life, but I'm a huge Nicki fan. But if you get that stamp and you get that cosign, I heard "Welcome to the Party" and I was like, "Yo, who is this nigga on here?" And this was the first time I've ever heard a feature with Nick, and I've been like, "Yo, but the dude also good too." Like,
Mhm.
I love you, Nick. I'll know this verse in 2 seconds, but who is this? Like, there's never been a time where it's been like, yo, I need to know something else about this person. So I think I'm so tragically saddened that Pop Smoke is not with us because I think that boy would have been something amazing. I think he would have been something good.
Yeah.
He would have been something good. But so take me through the Neza world of creating a verse. How does it come about for you?
All right. Well, I could tell you there's two parts to that. I could tell you how I used to do it and how I kind of still do it. But I used to write everything, man. I have pads, notepads on notepads on notepads of just thought patterns. And then sometimes I'll try to draw and then I'll try to write lyrics and I'll end up drawing. And, you know what I mean? I'll do that. But now, I'm in a space to where, as soon as I think of it, say I just finished making a beat or whatever, and while I'm making the beat, I'm actually thinking the melodies and, lyrics too. Like, I make a beat as if I'm going to rap on it, even if it's the case where someone else does or doesn't, but now it's not, some people kind of consider it freestyling, but I just say what say what the vibe is, feel it out. And if I like it, just re-record it, perfect that line, and then over and over. But the thing is, I do a lot of stacking because I like it to, I think I kind of got this trick from Tony Kraft, how he, gives it this sonic stereo sound. So I stack a whole lot as far as my harmony and singing. But other than that, I just vibe. Brother. Like, I write when I really want to write and I want to get on some shit. Then I'll put the beat on repeat and I don't care how long it takes, and I'll balance out daddy life and, whatever the fuck else is, on the itinerary for the day, but I'm going to get that song out. I'm going to project these thoughts. That's it's tunnel vision. You see what I mean? So it's not a complex thing. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah. No, sorry to cut you off but you made me have a thought. Speaking of which, you have a line that I just couldn't get out of my head. So it's like, you can't then go very far if you're half listening.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite lines. It's one of my favorite lines. I did this with Wish, like with Wish Granted the last time, and that he was on the show, and
Mm-hmm.
I literally, if there is a line that I hear that I love, I was like, you can't go Vango. It's like you can't go Vango very far. I was like, wait, oh, what did you say? And then I literally had to repeat it over and over and over again, just because that was the most brilliant line. And I love when people have great metaphors. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that was good.
Thank,
That was
thank you, man. I was, to be honest with you, I was trying to. That was some. The thing is, I don't really get to say everything I want to say in a song or in a
right.
day. You know, when I get a chance to talk to in this basically basic interaction with anybody, my mom and daddy, my children, or anything, I never really get to say. So those one of the things I just wake up and it's just in my mental terabyte in my head. You know what I mean? And it's just like I'm trying to perfect. How should I say this? I know it's the way this could be said, and it'll be slick as a motherfucker. I might even get some pussy off this shit. Let me perfect this shit. You see what I'm saying? And that's just
Right.
what it. And I didn't actually say it in the song. I said it like, you know, as an interlude, because I'm like, all right, that's witty. But I have to go through the whole long jigsaw of trying to get a smooth ass bar after that and then turn it to a song. So I just put that on the on the beginning, because obviously, you know, Vincent Van Gogh cut his ear up, blah 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 blah. Half listening.
And,
You know what I'm saying? So
right. And I was like, oh, that's dope. That's dope. Like when I capture a line, if I capture a line, that means that you got my attention. You know what I'm saying to you? If you don't have my attention, you ain't doing it right.
No, I appreciate it, because now I'm learning now, because I would like, you know, of course, like, you know, of course, skimming through IG, or, you know, and I see we're friends on Facebook too. So I see like, yo, oh man, this nigga's a hip hop head for real.
Oh yeah, like
you know
all of this back here. This not. It's
yeah,
not a joke.
yeah. So
It's not a game.
I respect it. So, you know, the fact that you say, you appreciate my art, and, you know, my wittiness, my lyricism, I supremely appreciate that, brother, for real.
Because what I'm noticing in this newer generation, everyone is getting by. And again, I will quote my girl: nobody is pushing their pen. And if you're not pushing your pen, I can't respect that, because we come from an era where MCs died over words, and we're killing, and we're agonizing, and we're in studios for days getting inspiration and giving us this art that we have now. So you can't, you know, there's no way. So because you produce, what is a studio session like for you?
What you mean, like with me as the artist, or me recording other people?
Like you as an artist, but like how does that work for you?
Oh, well, a session with me, like I said, I have my own mobile setup, so wherever I go, to studio is. But, you know, if it would be the case where it's like, you know, I'm booking time at a studio or whatever, I think I know all too well the lesson of having your shit together. That way you're not wasting your money. You know what I mean? So I would already have the song structured and everything, because I see what people do now. They spend their money, they go to these studios, and whether it be, you know, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, maybe 12 hours, wouldn't nothing really be recorded. It would just be a whole vibe. Now that's cool if you have the disposable income for that fucking bullshit, but you know what I'm saying? So, like, you know, it's like realistically, I'll come in here and either I want to make a beat, or I have some things I want to write, or just, you know, try to structure a song. Like if I don't have, you know, a due date or an album to be, you know, working towards, and it's kind of like freelance stuff, then I'll just be in there just vibing, really, you know, thinking about things that make me feel good. And even if I'm not in a good mood, I think that is the most important time to think about shit that makes you feel good. So, you know, music is my feel good. You know what I mean?
I definitely feel you on that. So a lot of your music is definitely you, which is like all you primarily. And you have done features, especially I think one of the features that I liked was with Undecided, Dripping Designer. So I definitely love that one. That was great. But what makes you get on a track with someone else? Like, is there a vibe, a moment of feel? But what makes you like really be like, you have to get on this track?
You know, I'm just going to be 100% honest with you. And I'm just talking about at the space I am now. I'm inspired by a lot of people. You know, and I motivate people just as much as they motivate me. And even if they don't know that, but as far as getting on a track with them, sometimes as of late, it's been circumstance wise. But I mean, in the case of me and Undecided, we, it was funny. I seen him on Facebook, and he was trying to, that's when the Versus thing started. And I guess that it wasn't just on Versus, the official one. I'm sure in every city they have their local rap scene, so I guess we were doing it too. And he was trying to put his put his shit out there, yo, trying to battle me, blah blah blah, this and third. So I finally hit him. I'm like, yo, I'll see you, bro. So we did that same day, and it was cool. I don't like determining like, oh, win, loss. No, we both had fun. We were able to showcase our music to each other live, and we were able to learn about each other. And then since then, he sent me that track, and I gladly did it because I was impressed with what I heard, and I see great deal of potential and hustle in him. So I guess to answer your question, I'm sorry for being a little shit about it, but I guess
fine. Yeah, fine.
I guess to answer your question, like I guess if I can see a little bit of myself in you, then I'll gladly work with, what I mean, or collaborate or whatever the term is. But I don't know. But I mean, now I'm in a space to where I'm not saying I don't want to be too accessible, you know what I mean? But right now I'm in a space where I'm creating more value.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Along with my label on the Track Music Group. So I mean, I'm kind of a little more selective about what I want to, have my hand in or have my name attached to now. But I have no regrets about anything I've done so far. I love everybody I've collaborated with, and I'm still trying to build upon that.
Oh yeah, because you were beasting out, because I at least looked as far as like the newer stuff that really kind of circulated via like circa 2019, and I'm like, for you to be, I want to say what, four projects in. We're roughly 4 projects in from 2019 on at this point.
Yeah. I've been on the grind. And the thing is, I don't really think about it until I have, people, that run with me, like my brother, my he's pretty much my Black Sam. You know what I mean?
Right.
He tells me, he's like, yo, you really been working, brother. And I'm like, oh, and I look at the discography, like, yeah. But and the thing is, I don't like getting caught up in all that. I feel as though there's a lot more work for me to do, a lot more people for me to motivate, a lot more people to motivate me to keep doing what I'm doing. So it's not over. I don't like to get caught up in all that. Of course, not tomorrow, let alone the next 5 minutes, ain't promised. So of course we're working towards that, but still it ain't promised. So I want to embrace in it, but I don't want to get caught up in it. I still want to work. Sure. I'm one of those people.
For sure. Now, speaking of collaborations, you collaborated with someone and you had no idea that you were collaborating with them. I don't know who that person is.
I'm still trying to figure. Hey, look, I'm still trying to figure that shit out, man.
Yo, so okay, so Neza and I actually collaborated on a track called Pussy Valley on Hard Liquor Loud Music. Shout out to Tony Crabb, whose pillow is also in the back. So the funny thing about that track is this. The track originally had me and Sweets Monroe on the track originally. That's the first time I met Sweets. The track actually was in production over a year ago. I had wrote that shit in 2019. Before it actually officially dropped. So that verse had been there. And then Crab wanted me to come back and redo the verse. And I redid it, wrote a second verse for it. He liked the first verse better than the second verse. And so that's how my verse got on there. My verse was originally the very first verse, but I was glad that he saved it to the end because I loved it and I was so excited. And then I got you and Tune on there. And then so I had found you via Kojo. And I was like, oh, okay. So something said to myself, I was like, yo, fuck it. Just reach out to this dude and say, hey, yo, are you on this track? And you literally were like, yes. And then you sent me the voice notes. And I had to say to you, I was like, yo, by the way, that third verse is me.
I was like,
when you laughed about it, I was like, yo, this is my guy. He gets it. He understands. So yeah, that third verse is me.
Because look, I do the voice memos like, I don't like texting all the time because I don't have time to do it. And I'm usually multitasking. So if I do a voice memo, it's like, yo, I give you my immediate reaction right then and there. So he's like, oh, yeah. I'm that guy. I lost it right then and there. I'm like, oh shit, bro, you killed it. Because I was wondering, and I wanted, of course I could have reached out to Crab, blah, 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 blah. But I'd be on my Bruce Wayne shit. I like to do my thorough research, you know what I mean, when I can, But yeah, bro,
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Yeah. I really do appreciate that. I really
like I said before we started recording, bro, by the end of that song, let alone the whole project, motherfuckers gonna need a pregnancy test, plan B, a prayer session with Fred Hammond, Craig Franklin, all of them. TD Jakes, all of them. Y'all need saving.
Let me tell you something. I listened to that project. I was like, oh, we nasty.
Yeah,
Like, I
yeah.
was like, wait
No,
a
but the
minute.
thing is, if we can, man, I do want to salute Tony Craft for putting together
Yes.
yet again another dope project. And like I told you earlier, it was like of DJ Khaled proportions, just the way he orchestrated and got these artists together. And in our case, didn't even know each other, but it just turned out to be perfect. Like the cohesiveness was perfect. And I don't really say
It
that
was.
about many projects,
Yeah.
including mine. That's how the standard is there. But perfect. Even with his joint
Mm-hmm.
Cravante, the one that came out previously before that.
Mm-hmm.
Yo,
Mm-hmm.
number big love for that brother, man. It was great, and I'm
That's
glad I
my
was a
guy.
part of it, man. I'm glad I was a part of it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Me too. I definitely am. And I am one of those people. And again, I learned from the best that when you do a verse or someone asks you to do a verse, you put your all in it the first time. Even if you have to go back for the second time, you make sure that the first shit that you put your dick down on is what you
Yeah,
solidified on.
yeah.
Because if it doesn't make sense. You know what I'm saying to you?
Mm-hmm.
I'm never not humble enough to redo it again. I'm not that guy, but I damn sure, for sure, the very first time, I'm gonna make sure that you never forget it.
Yeah,
You
that's
know what
what
I'm
I'm
saying?
saying. And then, like I've said, I'm not. And the thing is, I don't. At some point, I don't know like what the things that are said about me that perceives me. Like I'm not one of those people that take myself super seriously. I'm not just a
Right.
fan of myself. Like I'm not hard person to whoa. Like I love lyricism and all that, and I just call shit out for what it is. If it's trash, it's trash. But bro, you're a goddamn verse, bro. You see what I'm saying? I ran that
Yeah.
bitch back. I ran
Thank
that
you. I
bitch back,
appreciate
bro.
it. I
You see what I'm
appreciate it. I
saying?
do.
Yo.
Speaking of the fact that you don't take yourself so seriously,
Mm-hmm.
um, you have a song called "A Long Halloween," and you
Mm-hmm.
also reference one of my favorite anime-ish kind of things. You reference the Killing Joke.
Yes, sir.
I love that Batman series. Like, I am so grateful
Hey,
for
hey, look.
HBO Max.
Hey, look. Hey, look. I wish I could turn the whole computer around to show you my bookcase,
Yes.
but it's live, beloved. It's live, bro. Let's just say based off a true story. You see what I'm saying?
Yo, I
Yeah.
love the fact that you definitely took the whole Suicide Squad situation and kind of put that in the video and
Mhm.
um considered yourself the Joker and kind of turned that whole theme. How did that come up in your head?
You know what? The thing is, I don't even want to sit here and cap with you and say it was all my idea. The only thing that was my idea was the direction of the song. That was it, because when I
Mhm.
sent it back to OJiz, and shout out to him, he's the one who shot the video, produced the album, produced the song, everything. This dude is like Dr. Dre to me, so shout out to him. But I sent him the song back, and he was like, "Yo, this is it. This is it. We got one." You know what I mean? So when he
Yeah.
said that, and then my manager at the time, they both agreed. So I think, OJiz, and the thing is, we both, we're both into the DC universe, the whole world of geekdom and all that shit. And he loves the Joker just like I do. So he was thinking like, you know what? We could have a mini, instead of your typical music video. The song wasn't that long anyway. It's almost like 250 or whatever the case is. So
Right.
let's
Right.
make this a short film. So we did. So he scripted it out and all that, casted the young lady Ortez, who did a
Mhm.
great job as Harley Quinn. You know what I mean? And it was like, yo, the thing of it is, like, when I look at it, I'm like, yo, dude, we really should have made this longer. You see what I'm saying? But
Right.
we
Right.
we didn't want to, we didn't want to deviate the listener's attention span, but so much. And then I don't want people to,
Right.
like, anytime they see me, you know what I mean, like on some Dave Chappelle shit, I'm Rick James, bitch. Like, I'm no. I want to be known for some different shit, but it was
Yeah.
fun to do. And at some point, I'm gonna be real. If I kind of like really put my foot in it, you know what I'm saying? I
Mhm.
kind of would, I probably would be in discussion for, the next Joker, for the next Snyder's cut or whatever the case is. And it's
Yeah.
history because it'd be the first black Joker. But it was fun to do, bro. It was
Mhm.
fun to do, man. It was fun.
For sure. For sure. Which now you've made me fall in love with you even more because you're a geek and I appreciate you. Okay, because that is literally a thing.
Hey, bro, we got to
How
protect our own, bro. We got to
Okay,
protect
that's
our
what
own.
I'm
Because look, the
saying.
thing is, everyone. I notice how everybody is. You know, they're outwardly geeks now, but I remember when we were being shoved in the lockers and all that shit
All of that, all of
with
the things,
our
all of
Pokemon
them.
cards and all that. There wasn't no love for us, so we got to protect our own, bro. That's what that is.
So, yeah. So are you more DC or are you more Marvel?
Oh my goodness, bro. I try not to say that M word out my motherfucking mouth. I just don't like how it comes out.
Oh, why? Why?
I'm sorry.
Why?
I'm sorry. Now, look. The thing is, I'll always be able to be the same person to give those people their flowers.
Thank you.
Right. I will be able to do that because, you know, I like how, you know, because even at some point DC had to follow suit, like how the cinematic universe all added up to Endgame and all that. It was beautiful. I like that.
Yes.
It was dope. Even down to WandaVision, how it's dope. I like it. But
I love
y'all cartoons is
are
trash. Y'all
trash.
video
That's
games is
fine.
trash. We got
That's
that on lock.
fine.
We
That's
and
fine.
look, the thing is, look, and I will say this about DC. Our movies have been shit. I will say that Batman vs Superman, that had to grow on me. You see what I'm saying? But I'm a fan of Batfleck. I'm a fan of Batfleck. He ain't do no wrong to me. You see what I mean? But they like with the Snyder Cut, they're definitely redeeming themselves for the last, I'll say, 6 movies, bro.
Yeah, I haven't gotten a chance to watch the Snyder Cut, so I am going to watch it to.
No, me neither.
I'm gonna watch it to seriously critique it, to not be like, you know, this is some bullshit. But I also said it. I said it once before in another interview as well. But again, DC is gods among men, and Marvel, and I'll say it, Marvel is is just the regular people base of it all. You know what I'm saying to you? And it feels tangible to a lot of people. So that's why people gravitate towards it. However, I will also say my quintessential Batman situation will always be the very, very first 2 movies. You will have Batman and Batman Returns, because nobody does it like Tim Burton. Nobody,
damn,
nobody,
yo,
come on now, on now. Nobody does it like Tim Burton.
Yes, okay.
If you bring it back, if you know what would be amazing, if you could have a Snyder Cut and a Tim Burton world. Imagine.
That would be insane, man. You talking crazy now. You talking crazy.
Imagine.
You're talking crazy, bro.
And
look. The imagery alone.
Right.
This shit'll look like some motherfucking Nightmare Before Christmas shit. Like, he just has this eerie, spooky, like, you can expect Edward Scissorhands to pop out in anywhere, bro. Like, he just has this whole aura. And, like, if you know it's a, like, matter of fact, didn't he do the what was that? The Alice joint.
Yes.
You can tell
situation.
He just has a spooky shit to him, and it's lovable. So imagine that in today's world, and then you add DC cinematics with that, bro. I would love that. You talk crazy now, man.
Let me tell you something. If they don't call Tim Burton before he perishes out of this earth, and if he wants to do it again, because really there was supposed to be another Batman with Michael Keaton, which allegedly he is supposed to be coming back into the fold, but which will be great, because it will go so dope with the Batman Beyond series where Batman was older.
Yeah.
So it would look better. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, that would be the shit. And that's the whole thing about this whole trope of like Bruce Wayne versus Batman and people playing Bruce Wayne versus Batman, where I think maybe George Clooney was a better Bruce Wayne than he was Batman.
I wish, I wish we had this conversation a long time ago, bro. Because like, I've been saying the same shit, nigga. I've been saying the same shit. Like, George Clooney, he was a good Bruce Wayne, but as a Batman, the nigga was corny as fuck. The dude, Christian Bale, what was it from the Dark Knight series? Yo, I don't think Batman. That's what I'm saying. Even though it's what, where are they? No, stop.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like, he did too much as Batman, but he was a good Batman. The appearance of him as Batman was cool. Now, I'm going to be real. It always circles back for me. It always circles back to Ben Affleck, bro. He was the perfect Bruce Wayne, and he was the perfect Batman. And then, and the thing is, if he was younger, and if they hollered at him early and casted him as a Batman back then, I think he would have been great, yo. But he was good. Like, because the thing is, Batman vs Superman is one of my favorite movies because I've seen a lot of the continuity from which they took from. They took from The Dark Knight Returns, a few other joints. So you're dealing with an older Batman who's no bullshit. He ain't gonna kill you, but if you're a rapist, he gonna send you to prison with that tag and let them deal with you. He knows, you know what I'm saying? So this dude is no bullshit. I think he was a great Bruce Wayne and a terrific terrific Batman as well, man.
Yeah.
I get passionate with the shit, man. I have time.
Oh, let me be very clear. I have gone through interviews and have been mad that nobody was watching WandaVision. Like,
Look. The thing is, like, of course, because of my allegiance, I wasn't going to listen to that shit. But I got a homeboy like my brother.
yeah,
You feel me? He's Team Marvel all day, every day. You see what I'm saying? So, like, you know, be off the strength of him. So I know that we'll always have somewhat of an argument. I know what I'm talking about. I'll check out some of it.
yeah,
You know what I mean? So this past
yeah,
a few weekends ago, I just, you know, me and my team, we went to Atlanta, and on the
yeah.
way there, I ended up seeing some of the finale of the WandaVision. And at some point, it was whereas though I'm in the passenger seat, and I can hear it. I don't have earphones on, so I hear everything going on, and it just goes like, damn, that vision.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So,
Yo,
I was kind of drawn to it. I can't stunt, bro. I was drawn to it. I might check out the whole shit.
It sucked me in because there were, again, I'm a sucker for nostalgia. I guess I am, and I have to really kind of expect that at this point. But there were so many nostalgic moments on top of the nostalgic moments, because they encompass like so many different eras of television in it. It's so good there. And then, like, I was talking to Travis Case last week, and I told Travis, like, yo, there's this one portion, and I have to do my TikTok about this now. There's this one portion where they try to get into the whole hex situation or whatever, and she Detective Haywood says, hey, can we catch a signal? And the person he was talking to was like, no, there's no more signal. The reasoning behind that was this, and I said this last week, and I'm saying it again. I don't give a shit. I have to say it again. The reasoning behind that was because they ended with Malcolm in the Middle, and then went to Modern Family. Malcolm in the Middle ended in 1999, and we still had analog TVs that were still plugged in. By the time we got to Modern Family, everything was digital. That's why you couldn't get a signal if everything else before that was analog, and now it's all digital.
Yo.
And that shit rocks me. And nobody has said anything about it but me. I'm gonna be the only one saying it. I'm like, yo,
that's thorough. That's very thorough of you, brother.
Yo, I looked at it, and here's the thing. This wasn't the thought that was like, oh, I had to really think about it. No, I literally looked at it, and when he said it, I was like, oh, that's what that means. Like, the second that it got said, I was like, oh, and everybody's talked about all the big things, the spoilers, so on and so forth. Nobody has talked about that moment. And I'm like, yo, that's fucking crazy.
Yo.
Like, why would you
the thing is, I think I can say I admire about it, like all shit aside, is the continuation aspect. The fact that it takes place after Endgame. And then the thing is, like, and it's good, it's refreshing, because for years, and even though they do it for the sake of you know, they recreate these movies, whether it be the Spider-Man, telling the same story. How many times we gotta watch Uncle Ben die? That's all I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that
they have changed this with this now Spider-Man Homecoming situation. It's been kind of completely different. And to add Miles Morales, thank you, Jesus, into the whole Spider-Verse situation, again, changes all of that. You're getting a whole new, although you are getting the same trope, you're just getting a whole new story.
Yeah. No, I get it. You know what I mean? Because, you know, it's been years since, you know, the Tobey Maguire movies. So, you know, they got to reintroduce it to another generation. And then, you know, as time passed, it ain't going to be Tom Holland that plays him. But, you know, as far as Miles Morales, it's about fucking time they put some color in that suit.
Okay, let's go there. Okay, because see, here's the thing. I know we was gonna talk about your music, and I get that, but me and you are geeks, and it is what it is.
Yeah.
So I want the representation to start being better on both ends, because I am very thoroughly mad at DC for the fact that you're not giving Cyborg a story. You know what I'm saying to you? You're not really delving into that, but you utilize him. I am super mad with Marvel that you constantly utilize Storm when she was second in command of the X-Men. So I don't know why our representation, if it's not Black Panther at that particular point, why our representation is always very, very limited in these universes. And that's in all sci-fi, anime, so on and so forth, because what people of a non-colored situation are trying to tell us is that we do not exist in these worlds.
I couldn't have said it better, buddy. I couldn't have said it better because, and like, honestly, you got to think of how some of these characters, specifically how they're introduced. Like you
Mhm.
said, Storm, she's introduced as a second in command of the X-Men. Luke Cage, nigga from Harlem. You see what I'm
Exactly.
saying? Black Panther, motherfucker from what's supposed to be Africa. They just ain't gonna say Africa, so they say Wakanda. You dig what I'm
Right.
saying? So
Mhm.
you know what I mean. I definitely dig the frustration, like you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But again, if the reality is we don't exist until they want us to. That's when I appreciate motherfuckers like Deadpool. You see what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Who break the fourth
Right.
wall and just say, "Hey, bro, all this was premeditated, man. I am literally being sketched up right now, man. None of this is real."
Yeah. And Deadpool, for it to be a Marvel situation, was made. It was one of that first rated R. It went over and beyond, and I was like,
Hmm.
oh, okay. Which kind of led the way for the whole Logan situation, which I was
Yeah,
very grateful for Hugh Jackman to kind of die out at that particular point.
yeah.
Plus, not to mention, as a man of a particular stature who was only 5'4", let's be really, really clear. Wolverine was not as tall as Hugh Jackman is. Y'all fell in love with Hugh Jackman. You let the shit ride. Wolverine is literally 5 feet and some change.
They sold us a dream, buddy.
You got sold the goddamn dream. You know what I'm saying? Wolverine was my shit. You know what I'm saying to you? He
Ain't
got
no 5'8" motherfucker Wolverine out here. You know what I'm saying?
yo, ain't no 6 foot Wolverine out this bitch. Like that is the problem.
Oh my
Like
god.
y'all tried it. Wolverine was a knuckle dragging motherfucker, like literally. Like if you
Yeah.
look at the actual cartoons, you
Right.
look at
And
his
he was
body
always
sculpt.
hunched over, so like he never really stood up straight. So you already
Ex-
know his back was
exactly.
terrible.
Exactly. He had scoliosis like a motherfucker. It was horrible. So you already actually answered one of my other questions about like how do you kind of sort of, but
Mhm.
how do you know when a song is the song? Like this is the song. Like I know this song has to either one go on a project or two, this is the single.
Man, I never do. To be honest, I could sit here and lie to you and be like, and just say, I say some wild shit like, man, I sit in here, I pray, you know what I mean? I take my vitamins, blah, 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 blah. And then it just see God speaks to me and then I project it and then this is it. Now it's never that deep at all, buddy. It's never that deep. Like
I love
like I
it.
said,
I love it.
I go through the process, I
Yeah.
record. And the thing is, I listen to it a million times. I'll send it to my producer if it's something that we're working on, or even if it's something I just want his opinion on. If he gives me
Mhm.
the thumbs up, then that adds to me believing in the record more, but I'm probably going to go to sleep listening to it a million times and then thinking of things I want to add or take away from it. So I think, and then the thing is, even with the project that's out, the thing is like in October, it'll be out for a year.
Mhm.
Even by that time, I promise you, there's songs on there. And I'm not saying like me and OJ specifically did our thing. It's something I can stand behind. I'm very proud of it. But as
Mhm.
someone who's a perfectionist and always trying to cross the T's, dot the I's, and just make sure everything's if not perfect, the closest thing to it. There's still some tracks where I'm like, yo, I could have went in right there.
Mhm.
Damn. You know what I'm saying?
Uh,
And those same tracks have many of people since the release, even up until that point, will be like, yo, that's my joint. It got me through this, this moment or whatever the
as it
case
should,
is.
as it
All types
should,
of
right?
accolades, but at some point I'm still feeling like, yo, and of course I appreciate it, but then I'm like, I really could have spiced it up more. I could have did this, or I should have took that out. You
Speaking
know
of
what I mean?
which, the next single needs to be 10 toes because I need a visual with 10 toes. Like
We're actually working on it. We're working on it. There's so
I
much
knew
that
it.
we have in development right now. So yeah,
Yeah.
I'm glad. I'm glad we have, some folk anticipating it, but we just been trying to stay busy. We've been
Yeah.
riding with the momentum of the album since the release and, still
Mhm.
trying to keep the visual presence out there and
Mhm.
just trying to network and, enhance on what we have. That's about it.
And
Not too much.
that was the main reason that when I did like the stories on Instagram and so on and so forth, like that was why 10 Toes was the song that I used because
Uh-huh.
that was the one that I loved.
Yeah, I
So
was
I
like,
was
yo,
like,
that's his jam, huh? That's his jam.
that is really, it is literally the reason. So it's probably going to go into my workout playlist, which is going to be a thing.
No doubt.
Um,
No doubt,
then
brother.
then in addition, this particular season of your artistry has at least was it 19 tracks?
Yeah. Well,
Is
20 including the
20,
skit.
right?
So we might as well
Right.
just go ahead and put that little fellow in there too.
So you got 20 in a world where most people are giving you 5 to maybe 10 songs. How do you think that this particular album is still going to grab attention with 19 tracks, 20 tracks?
Well, the thing is, I can't answer that question without stating that we agreed upon, and this was upon me meeting OJs. We we agreed upon, an EP. It's like 5 to 6 tracks. And the thing is, since then, he sent me one track, and then that turned into another, and we just like what the vibe was. And then once we got to like 10 tracks, we knew we were beyond what we agreed to, but we were just
Mhm.
one of those things like, hey, this is, man, we got a little formula. Let's keep going. Let's keep going.
Mhm.
So that's what we did until we got to I guess to a point. I forget how many tracks we were at, but we got to a point to where Zojiz was ready, to set things up for release. So I wrapped up the tracks that he sent me, and like I said, man, a lot of those I'm surprised made the cut.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying? But
Right.
I didn't. In this case, I can proudly say that I didn't have the tough job of having to organize everything. OJ
Mhm.
has obviously seen something in all those tracks. He heard a story. He in that case, he was a visionary, like a director would be, Tim Burton, whoever the case. You know what I
Right.
mean? He saw
Right.
something, so he was able to listen to those tracks and organize them, and he was able to
You
help
know,
me
you
tell
know
my
what?
story.
You know what else is hilarious about that? That is my jam. I enjoy, enjoy organizing tracks.
Yeah.
I think that the level of organization on tracks is so freaking important. It does not make any sense.
It is, because the thing is, if I had the duty of arranging the tracks, keeping the same tracks, not taking anything out, but just
Mm,
having the job of having to arrange it and just keep it consistent like he did, it probably would get the same reaction or the same reception, but
mm,
probably not. You know what I
mhm.
mean? So, like I said, the whole process of making that album, it was a whole trust factor because,
Yeah.
like you said, I produce, I rap. I've been doing that for at least 20 years prior to meeting this gentleman. I
Mhm.
meet him, and there were still things about him I needed to discover and do research, but I had to trust this dude fully with production, which I did, and he had to trust me with the lyrical content, which he
Right.
did. So, we found the formula, and we just, to circle it back to the trust, I had to trust him to, just, hey, I gave you my story. It's kind of like if you're writing a book or something like that.
And
Yeah,
you take
you
an
know,
editor.
exactly. So that's exactly how
Mhm,
it went down. I mean, and even throughout that, man, I gained a brother.
mhm,
I gained a business partner. You see what I'm saying? And I gained somebody who I truly look at like Dr. Dre. You know what I mean? And
mhm.
I'm not saying, I was on the verge of really fucking my life up or anything of the sort, but let's just say that it's not real. It wouldn't have been real possible that I would have been where I am right now. As far as my
Exactly.
consistency, if I never met him, if he didn't see favor in me, you know what I
Exactly.
mean? So
Yeah.
I'm very grateful to be in this position, man. And that project, My Imaginary Reality, that is just the start of many great things to come from myself and the camp.
I'm excited. I am excited. Then my other question is, how do your children respond to the music?
They love it. They
They
love
love
it.
it?
But just
Yeah.
like anybody who, who's really close to me, they get annoyed with it. They're gonna hear it. You would think it's on the
Like,
radio
turn
and
it off. Like, why do you
yeah,
keep playing this?
but I mean, I guess it's kind of different. Like if you're the child of an artist,
Mhm,
you're kind of, you're kind of accustomed to it because, like I said, I've grew up in a household fully embedded with music. My mom and her sister and my uncle,
mhm.
they would sing, and I would grow up with my dad producing my mom and other kids. They would be, around nighttime when kids would be sleeping, we would be in the studio. I'm the middle kid, so I have a younger brother and older sister, but all three of us would be in the studio with mom and pop, listening to pop make moms do this certain note over again and again and again and again and again and again. You know what I mean? So these
Yeah.
other kids are sleeping, getting ready for school, and we're just out here for the ride. You know what I mean? And we'd still show up to school the next day as if nothing happened. But it's just, I don't know. To me, it just seems like super extraordinary with these
Yeah.
kids nowadays because they're already hip to, this is like they come out the womb with an iPhone and a sense of rhythm. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
my kids, I can say they love it. My kids, they come in here. My daughter, my youngest, she comes in here, she sits on my lap. Sometimes she wants to touch things, and then sometimes she wants to be observant. The same thing my son did
Mhm,
8 years ago. You know what I mean? So I guess it's
mhm.
different when when you're the child of a musical person. You know what I mean? You kind of get used
Right.
to it, but
Oh, yeah,
they
for
kind of,
sure.
and actually, to answer your other question, here's what sometimes low key helps me know when I have, if not a hit, just something that is bearable, is if my kids can nod to it. If they nod
Oh,
into
yeah.
it and they bob into it, then I know I got something. Not a hit, but I just know I got something. Kids don't lie; they're very honest,
Oh, for
brutally.
sure. Oh, for sure.
Brutal.
Oh, for sure. So I haven't done this in a while, but who would be your top five dead or alive?
Mm. Top five dead or alive. Well, the thing is, if you asked me this many years ago, I would say Tupac. And
Mm-hmm.
I guess I still should say Tupac because I love Tupac no matter what. But honorable mention. I'll say Hove, Nas, Snoop, uh what's MC Hammer, Michael
Mm-hmm.
Jackson.
Oh, there you go. That's some good ones. That's some good ones. I love that. I love that. I think that is awesome. Um, Anything else that's new that is supposed to be coming out?
Yeah.
Like,
Well, right now we are promoting the record that we just released that we were able to get um Redman to host. We have Get Up, that's out right now. Available
mhm,
on all streaming platforms except for Spotify, but you can definitely catch it on the trackmusicgroup.com. We're
mhm,
working on, again, more visuals to promote the album. Um, I'm me personally, like, aside from, my musical endeavors, I'm working on some animation. I'm working on, like, closing a deal with an animator, you know what I mean, for something I'm trying to project, but it's kind of, I can't even say too much about it because a lot is in development and a lot is uncertain. But there's a lot I want to
mhm.
do, there's a lot I can do, and a lot I can't say about it. But just be
Oh, for sure.
excited because I'm excited, you know what I mean. But
Oh, for sure.
yeah, that
For sure.
that, that about covers it.
Um, and look, I got you covered on the gamut. If you need someone for voiceovers, I got that covered. I
Oh
already know
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. Hey, bro,
Yeah.
you about to be my go-to for a lot. Real talk, man. Like, yo, if there's somebody I need to talk some shit to, like, some shit I just ain't feeling. You the go-to, man. And the
I
thing is,
appreciate it.
I definitely want to, give you your flowers and
Thank
let you
you.
know I see you. I appreciate your hustle, man. Keep grinding, man. Keep
Yeah.
fucking grinding, man.
And let me tell you where it comes from and why, though, because it's one of those things where a lot of people just like you see it, you're just doing it, you're just doing it. Nobody will love hip hop the way that I do. I am still that person. I don't give a fuck who is next to me in a car. I am jamming to my song. I am rapping it like I am on
Yeah,
stage at that moment. I'm still that person. And there's never not going to be a love for hip hop, be it the female game, the male rap game, whatever. I'm gonna love hip hop to the day I die. I know that for sure. So when I decided to do this, I really wanted to be the Angie of my city. You know what I'm saying to you? Because Angie gets those interviews.
yeah,
Angie asks those questions. Angie is a pinnacle, was a pinnacle for New York. You know what I'm saying to you?
yeah,
And I learned from that. And then I also started watching Ebro. And so New York, shout out to New York all day because New
yeah,
York gave me so much. And all of these people, that are in this room and all of the iconic pictures and posters and all the stuff that are in this room are just a part of my story. Like there's no other way for me not to do it. And so, yes, I did a mixtape years ago. It was called Last
hmm,
Chance, First Opportunity. I did it years ago. And everybody be like, well, what makes you an aficionado on hip hop? Yo, nobody loves it. Nobody loves when there are bars, when I feel the music, when I can recite the music over and over again. Nobody loves it. Nobody knows the history like I do. Nobody knows, some of the behind the scenes shit that I
yeah,
just know because I researched it.
yeah,
So
yeah,
that is why my love for the game is
yeah.
so strong, and why when I see somebody that like yourself that has
Uh-huh.
an amazing amount of talent, I'm like, yeah. And yeah, I do more than just hip hop, and it's not always just going to be hip hop heads, but I definitely try to make sure that y'all are in the building because y'all are my
Yeah.
first love.
Yeah, you
Ever.
definitely have a captivating spirit to you, bro. Like, and it's funny, you mentioned Angie, you mentioned Ebro, you know what I mean? And like I'll even go and say as far as Charlemagne, and just like very,
Oh, for sure.
very, very polarizing, but definitely, dominant figures in that
Mhm.
line of work, bro. So I definitely respect it. And your love for hip hop, bro, it good, man, dog. Like that's realistically, like, just hearing that's why we do it realistically, you know what I mean,
Right.
like for the real fans, not the
Mhm.
flip-floppy fans who in retrospect make up the cancel culture. You see what I'm
Exactly.
saying? Yo,
Exactly.
there's just so much
Exactly.
authenticity behind the shit you say, bro, and I fuck with it. Like I truly had a good
Thank you.
time, man. Thank you for making me
Thank
feel
you.
comfortable and extending your
I
you know
appreciate it.
your platform over to me, man. Like I definitely I appreciate I appreciate it, man. I appreciate
Yeah.
everything you're doing, man.
In my head this whole time, and that's why my head's been bobbing. I still hear 10 toes. Actually, all I hear is the hook. So that's how much like I love this
Yeah,
song.
stay solid, nigga. Yeah,
10 toes. Yeah, like
yeah,
I literally hear that, and so I'm gonna play
yeah.
it because I have to play it to get it out of my head. Like
Yeah,
that's gonna
yeah.
be a thing.
I mean,
But yeah.
I'm really glad you like that record though, because you
Mhm,
know what the thing of it is, like, I don't want anybody thinking that, you know, I'm, I, the thing is, I don't single people out. I don't go out of my way to diss anybody. So anytime it seems
mhm,
that way, that's only because you fit the description. You know what I mean? Like when I write, it's like,
exactly.
I think of everything that pisses me off, every person that has aggravated me, every person that has taken advantage of me, every person that made me feel this small,
Hmm.
they form something like a megazord, like Power
You're right.
Rangers. You see what
Yeah.
help that. Trying to so 10 toes specifically, man, I thought of every time I was taken advantage of, anytime that
Mhm,
I held motherfuckers down and I didn't receive that in return. And even with that, you'll go and hear me say, like, at some point I don't want it back. I just need you to be real with me.
be
You see what
real.
I'm
Yeah.
saying? And don't
Mhm,
don't take advantage of me. You know what I mean? But that's a lesson that I guess we all gotta learn. Not everybody's for
exactly.
you. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So it's a good record, man. And I even do a little Black history on that joint. When I say run it,
You do.
uh, yeah, okay. You see what I'm saying? Run it
Hmm.
like Wilma. No, you know what I mean? No Flintstone. Wilma.
Yes.
Y'all think I'm talking about Wilma Flintstone? No, Wilma Rudolph, the first black. Y'all know. Come on, man. Do y'all research?
Hmm.
Olympic
Hmm.
gold medalist. You see what I'm saying? Like, but they don't
Right.
want to. In a time where, you know what I'm saying, these people can be
They're not.
educated, they rather not be. So I slide it in there, even though it's in the midst of a dope ass beat and some
Yeah.
some words and some cadences that are
Yeah.
some shit really don't need to remember. I slide in some Black history.
Oh.
That's what
Oh.
I do.
Let
You
me tell you
will be
something. Between
educated.
between the Black history, between the anime references, between the DC references, like I've caught all of that, and that is why I knew I had to have you on the show. This is the reason why I enjoy those that are smart. You feel me? Like I
Yeah,
can't, I can't, I can't stand a dumb nigga. I can't stand someone that is just doing this just to do this. You know what I'm saying to you? And
yeah,
there, and sometimes let's be. This is my ode to what life is. There's a level between righteousness and ratchetness, and I believe that you can have. They can't coexist. They not one and the same. You know what I'm saying to you? But I believe that everybody has a part of that duality. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
everybody got a part of it. And so I was like, yo, I enjoy it because you're smart. And because being smart used to be the in thing. And
yeah,
now it's not. You know what I'm saying to you? Like,
yeah,
if you go back to like Diggable Planets and you go back to like the Far Side, like there
yeah,
are people that used
yeah,
word
yeah,
science,
yeah,
and now there are people that do not,
yeah.
and it
See that.
angers my soul.
Yeah, and the thing is, I to circle it back to OJ's, man, like before working with him and working on that album, I was at a space to where as though I was definitely losing faith in hip hop. Not me and my contributions, because I mean, and not to be arrogant, but I just know what I'm embedded with. I know, you know what I mean? I'm dope. You see what I'm
Right.
saying? But at the end of the day, like, it's just I can't be inspired by all this. So while
Mm-hmm.
working with OJiz, man, he gave me faith in not just myself, but it's just like these newer sounds that were, to me, it was like a deterrent. It was turning me
Mm-hmm.
off to it, but the way he was manipulating it, I was just like, man. And then, mind you, I'm at a space to where, oh man, this dude seems like the real deal. I don't think I'm in a space to be refusing shit. You
Like,
know what I'm saying? So
like,
man, the thing is, at the end of the day, like, and now I have more of a tolerance for it, because now I know how I can be manipulated in the ways where it appeals to me. And then I guess
mm-hmm.
with me being, a wizard with words or whatever the case is, now I can just see how I can manipulate it and make it appeal to other people who still like the same things I do, whether it be anime, lyricism, shit like that. But at some point, it's just, come on. The only similar thing about this music and that music may be these sounds. But even with that, we're trying to find a difference, a different approach, because, you know, you got to think, you know, realistically, technically, the sound of music has been in the South for the past decade, probably more than that. Let's be real. The trap sound and all that. Let's be real. Even now it's dominant.
Let's be clear. Not even just with that. Like, if you really want to go back, our pioneer, which was the track that we were on, Uncle Luke, from the South, from Miami.
Yeah.
Immediately, like, that was that sound. And for the longest time, it got overshadowed once we went into the East Coast, West Coast situation. So all of that got overshadowed. But no, the South rose again. Like, it continuously has this bounce, this cadence, this flow, this realness. It feeds you. It feeds you. Like, Southern hip hop, depending sometimes, is like the macaroni and cheese to the whole entree. You know what I'm saying to you? Like, you'll get everything else that you need. Like, yo, I have a picture up here of Pimp C. Like, why Pimp C? Because y'all don't understand, Pimp C was that nigga. You know what I'm saying to you? Like, I love 8Ball and MJG. You know what I'm saying to you? Bun will continuously be the god. What are you talking about?
Well, I mean, the thing is, I could never discredit the South. I never will. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when Dre said the South got something to say, he meant that shit.
You
see what I mean? But the thing where I'm unimpressed is it's just crazy how, you know, as much as you and I love hip hop, we see it as hip hop is a universal language. It don't matter where you're from. But the only thing that irritates me is when everyone sounds like they're from Bankhead. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And I'm like, nigga, what are you just from motherfucking the Bay Area, motherfucking not the Bay, you know what I mean? But I'm talking Bay Area, I'm talking motherfucking E40 and shit, nigga. Like, you were pronouncing your words. What happened? You know what I mean? So it's just like, I don't know, like the influence is good, but at some point, I mean, and I said it in another interview, man, and it kind of adds to the whole internet fiasco and how it's good, but it's not good. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people are influenced, but they're not influenced to be themselves. They're influenced. They're motivated by whatever, you know, when they wake up, don't even brush their motherfucking teeth. If they wake up, see who on live, hop on there, see who's, you know what I mean, who got the latest and greatest jewelry for the day, who has the most motivational meme and shit. And that's who, you know what I mean? Is that your Folgers? Really, motherfucker? Like, you know, and at the end of the day, I don't want to sound like an old nigga. Maybe that's what keeps people driven. Maybe, you know, different strokes, different folks. Truly, I get it.
Yeah.
But come on, man. At some point, I just see how people ain't being themselves. They're not. And I guess that's when motherfuckers like me stand out, because I'll probably tell you, nigga, hey, look, I be on OnlyFans. I look at anime, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, when I'm not in daddy mode, I rap a little bit.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So I'm just, man, I'm fully comfortable with myself, man. And just like I said, man, 30, and actually next week I'll be 32. So it's like, I can't afford to sit here in front like I'm trying to appeal to motherfuckers who, you know, at the end of the day, for whatever reason, will cancel me or try to.
You know what? I would be very honest. You just hurt my whole goddamn feelings. The fact that you were 32, and this brother right here will be 38. Like,
man, stop! You playing? No,
that ass. I'll be 38 in July.
Yo, brother, you look good, yo.
I'm eating better.
For real.
Thank you so much,
nigga. Whatever you doing, that's what I'm saying, man. That's what. Hey, yo. That's good. Keep it up, bro.
A lot of water. I have gotten rid of red meat. I am lowering my carbohydrates and my sugars, and I am staying away from pork. So therefore, yes, you know. And I haven't drank in so long. It's been a minute. It has been a minute. But it's not even a cleanse. It wasn't a conscious thing. I'm just trying to see what my next level will be. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So just trying to figure out where my next level is. But
hey, bro, wait, look, hey, keep rocking it how you rocking it, bro. You look terrific. Like, honest, on some good shit, man. Keep that up. Keep that up, man. Because me over here, I just been trying to smoke more and stress less. That's, you know what I mean?
It ain't nothing wrong with that. Well, before we go, where can the people find the kid? You know what I'm saying? Where can they find you at?
Y'all can find me on Twitter and Instagram, NEZA_OMG. On Twitter and Instagram. Y'all can catch me on onthetrackmusicgroup.com/Neza. That's where you can find me and all my content. But for the most part, that's where I am. That's where I am. We have a whole bunch of stuff we're working on right now, but in the meantime, listen to the album. It ain't going nowhere. I mean, except for Spotify. And you don't mind me. You please don't mind me speaking on that for a second, please.
No, it's fine. You take that. You take that.
I'm going to speak on it. Check us out. Spotify. They cut my album. They cut my album. They cut my album from Spotify. And the thing is, I'm not saying it like, oh, no, I'm over it. I did most of my crying the first night. Hennessy helped me get over it. But all
come on, Hennessy.
All I'm saying,
come on, Hennessy.
Hey, look, man, they better give me a check. Jay ain't the only one. Nah, but look, we were approaching 100,000 streams, buddy. And they pull the album. They pull the album because, and the reasoning it was because it was a suspicion of bot activity in comparison to my last project. Now the thing exactly. You see what I'm saying? Because it's like, yo, bro, you mean to tell me a nigga can't grow? Of course I'm not going to have the same streams from my previous releases because I wasn't with a team. I wasn't with people who were promoting me. I wasn't, you know what I'm saying? So what do you expect people not to grow? I think that was a lame ass excuse. So the thing of it is, I'm not sitting here trying to shit talk Spotify because, you know, at the end of the day, whether it be a modern day slave ship or record label, whatever, same difference, right? It doesn't matter. It's cool. I see how it benefits other people. So all I know is as far as my venture and my team, I'm not going through them anymore. Anything, if it's not going to be on Apple, Tidal, even, or things like that, and even with those, like, I'm going to be very, very finicky about what we're going to release the next projects on. But for certain, they will be available for purchase and stream and whatever the case is on our website on the Track Music Group. So we're just basically trying to keep everything in house, keep it home. You see what I'm saying? Because like I said, I joke about it, but at some point I do really see how these new streaming services are the new labels. And
for sure,
you know, these artists think they're sad now. That's all I'll say.
Y'all gonna be sad in the future. And I will say this: if you don't get with Tidal, you will be sad.
Yeah, no, hold on. Why you said that? So I'm trying to figure out. I was gonna go on Clubhouse and just find someone who could like help me get some insight. But dog, so apparently Jay-Z sold Tidal, right?
Jay-Z has sold a share of Tidal. However,
so what does that mean?
So it just means that he won't have as much ownership over it as he once had.
Oh, okay.
But at the end of the day, it's still so what hold on. Speaking of which, I actually talked about this. Which episode did I talk about this on? So with him doing that, right, he ended up he's going to it's like something like he's setting out a new portfolio for artists. So artists will now not only have money to invest back into themselves, they'll have money to put in stock. So it's like Tidal is going to give you guys, is going to give artists a different way of utilizing their funds that they make. You know what I'm saying to you? Instead of you guys getting it and just, you know, blowing it, blah, 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 blah. It's like you're putting in the right investments, or, you know, you're putting it back into your music, and Tidal's going to be able to give you those avenues to do so. So that's pretty much it. I forgot who he partnered with, but I did talk about that on one of the episodes where it's just like, that's kind of what Tidal has been about at this particular point. They are really artist driven. That is probably going to be my next goal, is to stream it over to Tidal, to start getting my own platform on Tidal as well. Because they think about us, you know, and we think about the culture, and I stand 10 toes down, no pun intended, but I stand 10 toes down in my opinions, my views. They are all mine. You feel what I'm saying? So you fight me in a comment, y'all already know what it is. It's what it is. You can give a shit. But like I said, as a lover of this genre, I'm gonna go hard every single time. Or as a lover of what we do, I'm going to go hard every single time. So bullshit just can't slide. It can't. The mediocrity of it all can't. Now, every day and again, you get like a throat baby, and you be like, you know what? That is my jam. No, fuck you mean. That is you know what I'm saying? But I need the core of it all. P.S. And by the way, off topic. throw baby as part of my workout shit. Don't judge my life, but it works. But it's one of those things where I want to be able to keep that level of reality. Shout out to Nori. Nori is doing it. Every time I watch Drink Champs, I get fucking excited. You know what I'm saying?
You need to relax.
I do. I get fucking excited. I love it. I love Drink Champs. It is my show.
Look, I had to do it. Anytime you mention Nori, I'm like, hey, you need to relax. I do that to all my homeboy.
Right, exactly. But you know what? It has been an absolute pleasure. I am so blessed and humbled that you have done this show. So I'm gonna put you in the background for a second. I'm gonna end out the show, and then me and you'll chop it up in a minute.
For sure.
All right, y'all. So again, I told you. Another dope interview. Why would I not? Because, what I'm saying? The kid is the kid. Y'all already know what it is. So don't forget, new podcast is up now. We just went over It Was Written. Then in addition, there is another guest for next Friday. So make sure y'all are tuned in for that. Don't forget about the Kick That Lyric, because I will be posting the Kick That Lyric, and there may also be a prize for the Kick That Lyric. So make sure y'all check that out. But once again, I am and you've been kicking it with your boy, Young Smooth. Now, don't you feel better about it? I know you do. All right, y'all. I will see y'all next week. Peace.